And we need to definitely support Koroneko's flare right there, so let me get that up in there. And the reason that we're doing that for Koroneko is because he recently won his group in the ESL Legendary Series, which is still in the qualifying stages, but within his group there are players like Life Coach, and Life Coach is currently ranked #1 in the world according to Gosu Gamers, so Koroneko is definitely moving up in the ranks in the world, in the Hearthstone world. But as far as this game, Tansoku has a nice turn to Wild Growth, but Koroneko also has a very strong, potentially... Okay, so he's not going to do any Edwins just yet. I was hoping he might coin it out, but just going to go with the weapon up. And Pilot Shredder is there. Okay, so here we go with a maybe... Okay, so he's going to weapon. And I guess sit on the 2 mana, or he might... Oh, he could coin out Edwin for 6/6. That would be really nice. It's not in BGH range, it's perfect. Yeah, that's like an innervated out, like, I don't know, Infernal or something. That's crazy. Anyway, so Tansoku doesn't have a silence for it just yet. He has some taunts, just to slow down Edwin's Wrath Rampage. And he chooses to go with a Sludge Belcher. And that could potentially just be taken out. And as far as development, Shredders are there. So Koroneko is keeping up with development while clearing the board. Oh, he gets the silence now. Wow. Tansoku. Okay. So it looks like he's just going to Wrath for 3 on something rather than silence. Yeah, he's going to Wrath for 3 on the Shredder. See what comes out. Ooh, Bear Cub. Okay. That means the swipe, and he's also going to take care of the Bear Cub. Interesting. So interesting draws from the Shredders so far. A lot of the GVG minions. Lothab, nice turn 5 play. Tansoku able to develop maybe just a hero power after the Druid of the Claw.
Where shall I strike?
Ooh, wow, charge even. What? Does that mean it's taking out the Lothab? Interesting, interesting. Okay, so Lothab, what does he basically do? So 6 mana. I guess he could do something with Shredder, coin, or weapon up. Obviously, you want to keep that weapon considering you have the Tinker Sharp's oil. But as far as trading, I guess you have to feel a little bit obligated to trade considering you just saw a Druid of the Claw come down in cat form and really wreck your face. Okay, so here we go with the prep. Ooh! He's going to be pushing the hell out of lethal. It looks like he's just setting up his weapon to kill the cat. To be oh, never mind. He's going to use a Blade Flurry to kill the cat. And Tansoku has to try to get lucky with a 50-50 here. Oh, he's not going to... What? He's going to Wrath for 3 and then do a Keeper of the Grove, I guess. Yeah, alright. That means Ragnaros will have to see his RNGesus luck move on to another day. Hopefully, I was hoping for 50-50. Those are always the most fun. But Tansoku feels no such luck as an order. And do we see a sprint here? Or maybe he just did like a heal bot weapon up and maybe save the sprint to where he actually gets a prep.
So many options.
It's kind of interesting. I think he's just debating on how much he might be scared of death. Obviously, the druid's going to turn 9. He has half the combo, he doesn't have the second half, so he is safe, but he is kind of at that point where if he does sprint, he's going to be quite vulnerable to dying. So he chooses a cycle. That means the Shredder's probably going to go down. Rather interesting. I guess you're not going to get too much value out of the Phantom Knives against Druid anyway, but Tansoku gets a Dr. Boom, so it's either... looks like it's going to be Dr. Boom along with a Hero Power, which works really nicely. You get your opponent basically into that lethal range whenever you do get that combo. The heal bot will be there, but it looks like Koroneko's going to have a rough time dealing with this. Ooh, he gets Dr. Boom on his own, but I don't know if he really wants to play right now. He might be praying for a Doomsdayer to come out of his own Shredder. That might be the play right here. Like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 100. Or maybe 1 in 50. Might be something like that. So he's gonna hopefully have his guy absorb damage. He does absorb some damage. But now, that still is lethal. Oh, never mind. Oh, yep, there we go. That's lethal. Nice. So Tansoku's gonna take this.
Well played.
Nice, and we're just gonna hang out. Let these guys do their own dex things while we go into game number 2. Obviously, Tansoku was up by 1 game in the best 3, but we still have the rest of the games in the best 3 that actually be played out, so we'll just hang out. Let's get Koroneko's face while we go through this. And just a reminder, everyone, if you want to see Koroneko play in the ESL series, he'll actually be playing, I think it's going to be tomorrow? Yeah, he's actually going to be playing tomorrow, so go check him out. He's obviously a super strong player considering he got far in this tournament. This tournament isn't really the most prestigious, but you know, the ESL Legendary Series is the tournament to be playing in right now, so he's definitely a hella good player, so check him out if you want to. He also has a very active Twitter. He's Japanese, so most of his Twitter activity is in Japanese, but if you want to talk to him, he does speak English, so his Twitter handle is KoronekoHS, so go ahead and talk to him there as well. He will respond to you in English. He knows English very well, so he's solid there. And as far as this game, Tansoku has a nice curve along with an innervate even, so we could see like a turn, basically like a... Oh, okay, so he's probably just going with the Shade, hold on to his Sludge Belcher, get that growing as soon as possible, but he did coin out the Wild Growth, considering a nice 3 drop. Ooh. Double Shade, boys. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, nice. So this turn 4 looks a little dry. Maybe he doesn't want to innervate out the Sludge Belcher, considering it wastes 1 mana, but it does... I'm not really sure. He knows the Black Knight might not get any value, so we might see him innervate that out. He's gonna hold. I would like to maybe potentially see him innervate out the Black Knight and just play it as like a 4-mana Yeti. But he decides not to, no worries. So Koroneko's gonna hold on to Shade, both Shades are holding. I would say that Tansoku should be a little bit worried about his Shade rather than Koroneko's Shade, considering the Rogue has a lot better AoE. But his Shade is growing a little bit faster. But Koroneko here... What is the play? What is the play? Maybe... looks like he's just gonna run this face. Ooh, that's a decent 2-drop. Considering the board state, I would say that's probably one of the betters. It might die to a Hero Power next turn, but you know, it would do 3 damage to the face, which is really nice anyway. So it looks like a Shredder's gonna come out, and he's actually gonna backstab the slime. Okay, interesting. So that means the ooze should hopefully stay alive. Ooh, Ragnaros. We didn't see Ragnaros go down last game, so we were kind of sad, but he run anyway, so we didn't even need to play it. Here we go. I guess a naked Black Knight. He does have the combo in hand, so he's probably going to sit on that Shade until the very last moment. He knows Koroneko has no taunts, but Koroneko does have heals. But if that Shade gets big enough, obviously it's not going to be too big of a deal anyway. Currently the Shade would do 7 damage with the combo. So the lethal point would be 21 life. Here we go with an Innervate. I guess he wants to Innervate out. That's Ragnaros. That works really well. I guess Black Knight is not really as impactful as you would want it to be, and he actually reveals his Shade. And he kills his opponent's Shade. Nice. Okay, so I guess a Sap is a possibility considering Ragnaros is huge and it was Innervated out. So Sap is like the juiciest answer right now.
So many options.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. He's actually just gonna Abyss it, looks like. So Sap the Shade, even though it only has 2 health. Abyss the Ragnaros, you don't want to deal with that anymore, I guess not. Even though, it, you know, like you said, it was innervated out, so it would be a very nice Sap target, but he doesn't want to deal with it. The Shade, I guess, has priority, so he knows what he's doing. We're gonna trust his moves, and he made the move. Wild Growth, not useful just yet, but some card draw will be coming in this turn regardless. Sylvanas is gonna be nice. Shredder. Okay, so we get some nice minions to play. And Koroneko is just gonna play a sprint flat out, not even thinking about it. I'm not sure if he can. I think the Watcher might be dead. I don't. Even if like, yeah, he can't activate it. He has no silence. He has no like taunt givers. That's the only way that you activate a Watcher. I guess Shadow Flame is essentially another way to activate it, but rogues have no such tools.
I have no time for games.
Sylvanas is going to go down along with the hero power, and that's going to put Koroneko rather low. And obviously we did mention how we're coming up onto turn 9. The druid does have the combo. So at this board state there is lethal on board, but obviously Koroneko has ways to deal with the board along with ways to heal. So we could see like a Phantom Knives Evis on one of the dudes, but that would still be lethal. We would have to answer basically both of them or heal. I guess, and heal.
I wonder.
So I guess, okay, so he's gonna start with the Azure Drake. He's gonna prep out the this and sap the Sylvanas. I like that. That works really well. Answers the board and develops your own board. Koroneko is obviously has a lot of work to do to actually get to that lethal point, but he's working on it. He's getting there. The swipe could be used right here to clear out the Drake.
I have no time for games.
It looks like Tansoku is just going to develop the board considering he is so close to lethal. And he's not really worried about, you know, lethal from Koroneko himself considering he is at seeing 30 life. So here we go, Phantom Knives. Sadly, the Shade's gonna die to that. And will we see them just trade, juggle the Ancient Watcher back and forth? Well, I guess just juggle it once, considering I highly doubt Rogue runs Sylvanas. I guess another. Whoa. Okay, so if he trades in his Drake, what would he do with the 6 mana? I guess Healbot would be viable along with Shade. Rather peculiar turn.
Choose suicide.
Obviously, I mentioned yesterday how complicated I thought Rogue was. And I do still think that it's rather complicated. He's going to kill the Sylvanas. Basically go for a 50-50 that it does not steal the Drake. Oh, and he gets lucky. Bravo, bravo, amen, brother. And he goes with the heal, so that's not going to be lethal just yet. Now, as far as activating this Ancient Watcher from Tansoku's point of view, he has silences in his hand, so he can get it up and running. But I don't know if he's running any Argus. I doubt it. I don't think Druids run Argus anymore. At one point they did when they had like Spectral Knight and stuff in there. But I don't think they do that anymore. So a swipe, it might be coming down just to get rid of the Drake. Ooh, he's gonna activate his Watcher, it looks like. Not like that. Get use out of the dude since you have him. I guess the only other silence target would be an Edwind. I don't know if we've seen that just yet this game. And koroneko doesn't seem to be running any
I must safeguard the land.
what's it called? Violet Teachers. So the Shredder's gonna go down along with the silence, and so that means obviously Lethal's on board, but we can see a lot of work done be here. Oil, so maybe, he's gonna start by killing the Shredder, and that's probably a good minion for your face to run into. That's what koroneko vouches to do, and he's gonna use his Dr. Boom along with SS7 Agent to kill the Silence guy. And that will actually give koroneko a nice board presence to eventually kill this, but Tansoku does get another piece of the combo even though he already has the full combo, so he might use just one Savage or Force of Nature here just to help him clear, maybe absorb some boombots in the process. I would like that actually. I mean, that would be like the ultimate boombot soak, is those Force of Nature trees. Considering that you can use their attack to kill it and then they still have one life to actually soak it up. Looks like that's what he's gonna do. Now how does he want to do this exactly? So throwing 2 into Dr. Boom, actually all 3. So that means that he's not... Okay, so he's gonna leave his Keep of the Grove to essentially soak up some boombots. Both of them go to face for 4, so average result for face. So that was interesting. Force of Nature just basically did 6 damage for the 6 mana. So I guess it works out. He didn't use them as soaks at all, so I guess it would have been tricky to pull off. Considering if you attack with it, then you run the risk of your other guys getting hit before even attacking themselves. So I'd say solid play with a swipe. Now it looks like he's going... Ooh, Sharpsword Oil.
Well played.
Oh, and he's almost saying GG. He has to do that basically to clear the board. He knows that Lethal is very close. Dr. Broom is going to be a huge problem for him. Oh, okay, so Tansoku actually going to take this. And that's actually game 2. This is best of 3, and Tansoku won both games in a row, so bravo to him. He's actually going to take out koroneko, and koroneko is going to go to the loser bracket.